And not Jack the Ripper. He's a madman. But I understand his madness. These women he's killing are part of an invasion. They carry a disease that is just as much a threat to this country as the Armada was.
I understand, you studied anatomy.
Yes. An avocation. A far cry from leading an army. Hear me. If you speak out against me in any way whatsoever, I will destroy you.
Well, that's one way to admit you're Jack the Ripper without actually saying it. I'm sure that personal threat won't raise any suspicions. G'day guys, Holy Critics signing in, and today we're examining one of history's most chilling serial killers, Jack the Ripper, through the lens of the 1997 TV movie The Ripper. This isn't just a retelling of his crimes, it's a dark exploration of Victorian London, filled with shadowy streets and complex characters, and a plot that dives into one of the most infamous conspiracy theories. So, if you love a good whodunit with plenty of intrigue and some royal scandals sprinkled in, this movie is sure to please.
Steady.
Drive on.
Bloody hell. Come here, quick! Where is it?
Well, that was all rather interesting.
Why can't you just tie it the ordinary way?
Do you know how many ways there are to tie a standard man's cravat?
1,000?
11. The four in hand, the over-under, the Clarendon, the crisscross, the double-under.
Oh, there goes the week. You spent 2 hours on that one already.
It's worth it. Clothes are the mark of a man.
Oh, and I'm a pardon for the rest of my life.
No, Tommy. You are a good man. You could elevate yourself. It's just a matter of paying attention to detail. Take these shoes, for example. I spent £5 on it.
£5? You spent £5 on a pair of shoes? Are you out of your bleeding mind?
Nice, aren't they?
That is 3 weeks' wages.
4. But shoes are important. Very important. More important than ties.
Oh, who spends £5 on a pair of shoes?
Sir Charles.
He's got it.
So could we.
Oh, you maybe. That's why Sir Charles gives you an invite to the Benton Club. Look, I'll leave the fancy stuff to you. Just as long as you let me tag along on those coattails of yours. And very nice coattails they are.
Yes.
Inspector Anson, there's been another killing in the East End. Sir Charles asked that you attend to this one personally.
Personally, eh? Pretty soon you'll be Sir Jimmy. Or Lord Sir Inspector James. Or maybe you might be Emperor. Stay back.
Control these people.
What have you got?
Very nasty business.
I can tell you've got a medical degree.
Female, round 40, dissolute. Throat slashed ear to ear.
What's this? On her shoulder.
Her bladder, intestines and vagina carefully placed. Her uterus and ovaries are gone. Removed with some degree of surgical precision.
Mother of Christ.
She was dead before her throat was slit.
How the hell do you know that?
Her blood, it would have sprayed otherwise. Tommy, cover this up.
The abdominal incisions and distant lining came after that.
Do you think she was killed here?
I don't know, but she was dissected here. Pool's too big for it to be drained elsewhere. What do you make of that?
I don't know. Did you get this? Who discovered the body?
Those two over there.
When they're finished, clear this away.
I told you I couldn't help it. It won't happen again, all right? Look, just give me the money you owe me then. You owe me from yesterday. Just give me the money that you owe me from yesterday, all right?
No.
They sacked you. Minding my own bleeding business. Stepped outside of 10 bells with a pint and they pinched me.
Bad night.
No. The cop was as drunken as what I was. Yeah, they left me alone. This time. Here. You know that old gent that drinks down the 10 bells?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing him tonight. And I told him that I got a friend, right? Was twice as pretty as what I am. He says he'll up the price. It's £1 crown each. What do you think?
No, thanks.
What? What, you'd rather stay here, would you? Put wool through those bleeding machines?
Yes.
Laurie, go on.
No.
All right. Anyone ever think I was asking you to service the old Queen's cavalry? Horses and all.
If it'd get me passage to New York, then I'd consider it.
Oh, yeah. You devil you would. You're wasting yourself, Laurie. You're still pretty enough to be choosy. Get a job and any knocking shop in London. Be £2 or £3 crown ago. You could tell them you only want the young and handsome ones. If I had your looks, I'd be rich for a start.
Hey, what's going on?
Some old door got cut.
Good evening. May I help you?
Yes. I'm here at the invitation of Sir Charles Warren.
Sir?
And he said, sir, you may think that this is a police force, but I consider it a police farce. Hanson, over here. Now, gentlemen, this is the man I've been telling you about, James Hanson. Sir Albert Hutchinson.
Sir.
Sir William Fraser.
How do you do?
Sir.
Colonel Lord Henry Smith.
Sir.
And Thomas Delancey. Please, won't you join us? And His Royal Highness, Prince Albert Victor Edward.
Hello. How do you do, Inspector Hanson?
Your Highness.
Sir Charles here speaks very highly of you. Says he's grooming you for his job.
My job? Well, let's not be hasty. Shall we simply say that I have a good eye for men of merit?
I appreciate your confidence in me, sir.
I understand from our numerous penny dreadfuls that you're handling that terrible murder in the East End. A prostitute.
Yes.
Awful.
Terrible.
Cambridge, King's College. I think you rode crew with my son.
No, Uncle Willie. Hanson here is a bootstrapper. One of Charlie's protégés.
Oh.
Self-educated, ambitious, and the hardest worker Sir Charles has ever seen. Have I got it right?
Quite right, sir.
How admirable.
What a snob you are, Uncle Willie.
I take that as a compliment, sir.
I, for one, think we ought to have more men like Hanson in government. As far as I'm concerned, they ought to be running the entire Home Office.
Quite.
Shall we? Relax. You're among friends.
Thank you, sir.
The little Jew had the audacity to ask me to abandon my principles and to speak for reapportionment. As if we don't funnel enough money to the East End vermin. Sheer madness.
Those vermin deliver your coal, sweep your streets, and haul away your rubbish.
Is there a liberal in our midst?
No. Just former East End vermin.
So you support reapportionment?
Yes, I do.
Then you, little man, like our Prime Minister, will die on the gallows. Or of syphilis.
That depends on whether I embrace your principles or your mistress.
Good show! Put the old reprobate in his place.
Exactly. Expensive drug. Yeah, exactly. Oh, come along.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Your principles or your mistress? Excellent. Good night, Inspector. I hope to see you again.
Good night, Your Highness.
Good of you to come, Hanson.
Thank you for the invitation, sir.
Oh, thank Prince Albert Victor. He suggested it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's heard me speak of you a number of times. You didn't disappoint me tonight.
I'm glad.
Good night, Hanson.
Good night, sir. That'll be all, thank you.
Sir.
To whom it may concern.
Times, Sentinel, Gazette, Beacon, Quest. Front page is the lot.
For a whore?
Not for who, for how.
Got to sell papers.
What's the word, Tommy?
Interview room's full. We got witnesses fingering a landlord, 2 drunk brothers-in-law, Jewish butcher, Jewish dentist, and 2 rabbis and a load of Whitechapel rat bags.
Everyone they love to hate. What about the leather apron?
Oh, it's in one of them Jewish slaughterhouses in the district. One of them places where they bless the animals before they slit their throat. Makes them eat clean or some damn thing. So, Jimmy Hanson shares an evening with Prince Eddie.
Oliver, get down the mall. Find out what's taking so long with the post-mortem. And drinks. Lots of drinks.
Queen Victoria's grandson, eldest son of the eldest son,
Inspector?
future king of England.
I want all the
Emperor
interview
of
reports
India,
on my desk by noon.
Grand Poobah, the Royal Order of the Guard.
And I want a list of every doctor, veterinarian and butcher who ever set foot in the East End. Whoever cut her up knew exactly what he was doing. Peters?
Sir, I think you'd better take a look at this.
Tommy, read it out loud.
To whom it may concern. I hope you are prepared to do your work as well as I did mine in Bucks Alley. I've enclosed something that will make it clear that I am the man you seek. I wish you the best of luck. Sincerely yours, Jack the Ripper.
Sounds like he wants to get caught.
Part of him does. It's not the part I'm worried about.
Evening, Governor.
Lovely night, isn't it?
You fine?
Nothing would please me more.
Don't you talk nice? What'd you say to half a crown?
You undervalue yourself. What about half a sovereign?
Half a sovereign? I'll stand on the head for you for half a sovereign.
That won't be necessary.
Nice gentleman like yourself will be wanting a room, I suspect.
No. In fact, I'd prefer your natural surroundings.
Whatever you say. You stay here, darling. I'll be right back. Mary, this is your last chance. Make sure the old bugger has an heart attack before he gets too young.
Yeah, I bet you could.
I will.
I'm off to work.
Right, suit yourself. Forgetting something, aren't we?
Not at all.
When can I get out of here?
How many times have we got to tell you when the bleeding inspector gets here?
Well, where the hell is the bleeding shit sack?
Right here.
Down here.
She a witness?
Her and them two blokes.
Lovely night, isn't it?
It's not as bloody as the other one.
He was interrupted.
We just found another body. All cut up and laid out, 6 blocks from here.
Bleeding convention.
Close off the alley. I'll go and see the other body.
What about me?
Have her and the other 2 brought back to the yard. I'll talk to them later.
I didn't do nothing wrong!
2 in one night.
Inspector! Inspector!
Jimmy.
You might want to have a look at this.
What is it? The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing. Here, come here. Photograph this. Hurry up. Any of them see it?
I don't know, sir. I was keeping watch.
Just make sure they don't.
Yes, sir.
When he's done that, make sure it's cleaned up.
Sir.
You, come on.
Miss Lewis? Can you tell me what happened last night?
You lost me my job
Where do you work?
at the Colony Mill. But they got 100 girls on a list looking for a job. You missed a shift, you're out. No excuses.
Tell me what happened in the alley.
I came out of the 10 bells, turned the corner, and he ran off.
Was he a customer of yours?
I'm not a whore.
You have 2 arrests for prostitution in the last 3 years.
Well, then I suppose I am a whore. No, he wasn't a customer.
Can you describe him?
It was dark.
Try.
All right, I'll try. Sorry, it was still dark.
You're an East Ender, aren't you?
You're the one with the file.
Kilkenny originally. I'm an East Ender myself. Look, I understand your reluctance to help.
No, you don't.
You don't like the police very much, do you?
Why should I?
I could hold you.
You can do anything you want.
Look, if you're a witness, I can offer you protection. But if you say you didn't see him, I can't justify assigning a man to you.
I don't need protection. I'm an East Ender, remember?
Really? You're free to go. If you remember anything, get in touch. I'm Deputy Chief Inspector Hanson.
I'll be sure to do that.
Miss Lewis? Your gloves.
You think she saw him?
Of course.
Then why'd you let her go?
What do you suggest? Thumb screws? You just put a watch on her. I don't want her dead.
Paper, paper! Bird prostitute killed! Jewish killer suspected! Paper, paper! Come in, read it here! Bird prostitute killed! Whoa!
Good evening, madam. Well, I have it on good authority. It's a foreigner. An Old Testament sort, if you will.
Posh. That's just the sort of talk that got my dressmaker's shop windows broken.
Good dressmakers, are they?
One could make a case that by attacking only prostitutes, he's performing a public service.
I don't know how you do it, Sir Charles. Immersing yourself in that world.
Oh, my.
I find it admirable that men such as Sir Charles and Inspector Hanson are willing to protect those women. Prostitutes or not, they're still human beings.
One does one's duty. Isn't that right, Hanson?
Yes, sir.
Enough. Enough of all this talk about this Ripper. Promise me not a word of it during dinner.
Quite agree.
Very well, my dear.
And they fight.
Yes, Edwin, please.
In fact.
Yes, go on.
Very sweet. Reading, two is enough. And as you know, my husband has two dogs. They don't really get on with me well.
No, I'm sure two is plenty.
And it's rather like, you know, when we go to
I understand your father is in the employ of Lady Margaret.
Yes, he's her secretary.
Good position.
And doubly so because Lady Margaret has taken me under her wing as well. I suspect that's why we're seated next to one another.
I beg your pardon?
Forgive my directness, but I believe Lady Margaret is doing a bit of matchmaking.
Oh.
Don't be embarrassed. They have a high regard for my father and for me. Clearly they do for you as well.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm pleased.
George? Miss Lewis? Miss Lewis, wait a moment. I need to ask you some more questions.
Sure you do.
I got you your job back. I went to the mill. I explained to them that you were helping me on police matters. You're on the day shift now. I hope you don't mind.
Nice place.
Home away from home.
So how about you tell me what you saw in the alley?
Oh, I see. Get my job back in 1 meal, and I tell all. Think that's going to work? You got a wife?
No.
Girl?
No.
Go ahead. Tell me what you really want. I already know, but I want to hear it anyway.
Just a description.
And that's all?
That's all. 3 women have been killed, and it's my job to see that no more are.
Not 3 women, 3 whores. There's a difference.
Well, not to me, there isn't.
No, you mean all women are whores?
No, all whores are women.
You say the right things. You still haven't told me why I should help you.
2 reasons. The first, no matter how much you hate the police and think you don't need their protection, you're wrong. You do.
Second?
If you don't help me, you'll do it again. Maybe not to you, but to someone else. Maybe someone from here. Please, help me.
Oh, 25, 30. He was smaller than you, but strong-looking. His face was pale, dark eyes, moustache. He was wearing a dark suit. The real fancy man.
Is that all? This'll cover the meal.
Jimmy Hanson, you old piss pot. Where did you sneak in?
Maggie, it's really nice to see you, girl.
Yeah, well, don't be a stranger.
You'll have to excuse me. Thanks for the description. And forgive me if I don't escort you home.
Are you making fun of me when you talk that way?
No.
When does my police protection start?
It already has. It started the moment you left my office. He's outside. His name is Peters. He's one of my best men. He'll see you home. Good night.
One more thing.
Hey?
Apricots.
I beg your pardon?
He smelled like apricots.
Thanks. Good night, Maggie.
Now it's toilet water.
Come here. Does that smell of apricots to you?
I'm not going to smell that.
Florrie Lewis said the killer smelled of apricots. How about this one?
Smells like a French whorehouse.
How would you know? You've never been to a French whorehouse.
Half right.
What do you think of her?
Son? Go on, get down.
Evelyn Bookman. Oh. No, forgive me for asking, but my wife insisted. She's unabashed when it comes to playing Cupid.
She's a lovely woman.
Not to put the cart before the horse, but a suitable wife is an absolute necessity if you expect to rise above a certain level here.
I understand that, sir. And I appreciate your efforts on my behalf, but I would wonder if...
Raise it on the left. Raise it on the left. No, on the left.
Excuse me, sir. I must get back to work.
Yes, work. Yes, of course.
That's what we call the Eton E. See the extra curve?
Mm-hmm.
Eton has its own letterbook, very distinctive. And now look at the T. You see the way the crossbar goes up at the end?
Yes, I do.
Whoever wrote this letter attended Eton. Or learned to write from the Eton practice manual.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir. We've got another one.
Dear boss, I hope you appreciate the craft with which I am executing my work. Please see to it that you and Sir Charles execute your responsibilities as well. Most sincerely, Jack the Ripper. Sir?
He may be insane, but he has lovely penmanship.
Tough going, that last jump. Thought you had it until your mount shied.
Never the horse, always the rider. I'll look after him today.
Charlie. Your Highness. Now, you of course know my wife, Lady Margaret.
Good to see you again.
Miss Evelyn Bookman.
Yes, of course.
And you remember Inspector Hanson?
Inspector.
Good evening, Your Highness.
So pleased you could come.
I'm extremely honored by the invitation.
Opera's an acquired taste. I can't imagine you acquired it in the East End.
No, this is my first time.
What do you think?
I enjoyed it.
Particularly those parts for which you were awake.
Especially those.
If the gentleman will excuse us.
Of course. Engaging program.
Such an odd manner. Oh, royalty's expected to be a bit balmy.
Poor thing. Can you imagine being his wife?
Not his wife, dear, his queen.
I understand you've narrowed it down to a Jewish butcher. A leather apron, precise with a cutting tool, all that.
Oh, no. That's all in the press.
Oh.
Handsome?
Sir?
Jewish butchers, all that.
A Jewish butcher, a shochet, always kills the animal by cutting its throat. It's part of a ritual. But our butcher, he strangles first. Then he slits the throat, and then he dissects.
Fascinating.
All this talk of a foreigner or a Jewish killer says more about the prejudices of those who are talking than it does about the actual killer, in my opinion.
Receptive. And I understand you have a witness.
Now, where did you hear that?
I have my sources. Who's the witness?
Oh, another prostitute. Her name's, Florrie Lewis.
Does she live in the East End?
Uh-huh. Mitre Court. Oh, she gave us a very good description.
Is something wrong, Inspector?
No. Ah. It's rented, sir.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir. It ought to be. It cost a lot.
Good luck with this Ripper business.
Oh, don't worry. We'll catch it.
I hope you do.
Sir, don't you think we should keep the details of the investigation to ourselves?
You're a good policeman, Hanson, but you have a lot to learn. He will be our king one day. If he wishes to know the color of your drawers, you will tell him.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing. Never, ever presume to chastise me.
Yes, sir.
Ah, ladies.
A perfect gentleman. Lady Margaret says that everyone should have an avocation. It provides a natural topic of conversation, and conversation is the leavening by which people rise. Why are you laughing?
Well, that's not something they taught us at the orphanage.
Don't be ashamed of having lost your parents.
I'm not.
What?
May I be frank?
By all means.
I've enjoyed our afternoons together. But I'm a bit mystified.
Mystified? By what, James?
Well, by what you think I have to offer you. I'm not Sir Charles. I never will be.
And I'm not Lady Margaret, and do not wish to be. Don't undervalue yourself.
Paper, paper. Prostitute murders continue. Scotland Yard in the dark. Extra,
Here are the other post-mortems. You were right. The second two were choked to death as well.
I told you we should stake out Savile Row. He's clearly a gentleman who cares about his dress. This is a messy business, so he likes to turn off the pump.
Give me a drunken lout who's knocked his mate on the noggin any day. May I ask what you're doing?
What's it look like I'm doing? I'm sniffing for apricots.
Try arsenic.
Hey? Doctor? Doctor, wait. What do you mean? Arsenic?
Arsenic smells like apricots.
A witness said that the killer smelled of apricots.
Then your killer has syphilis.
Explain.
Arsenic is the treatment of choice for syphilis, highly diluted, injected. It infuses the body and sometimes produces an odor, particularly with heavy perspiration. It smells remarkably like apricots.
And the victims?
They were prostitutes. All three were syphilitic. But none were undergoing treatment. It's very expensive.
Well, where would a person of quality go for such a treatment?
One place. Dr. Sir William Gale.
The Queen's physician?
His surgery is on Upham Street.
Syphilis is a very difficult disease. Perhaps someday we'll find a cure, but for now, all we can do is slow its progress.
And the treatment?
Most unpleasant. Arsenic injections. And for active lesions, a mercury hydrate drawing salve. Very, very painful.
What about insanity?
Dementia frequently accompanies the other tertiary symptoms of progressive blindness and liver dysfunction. Usually 10 to 15 years after infection.
Could this dementia lead to violent behavior?
Perhaps. Especially if accompanied by underlying pathologies tending in that direction. Is this about Jack the Ripper? Well, the papers are full of it.
Have you treated anyone recently? A gentleman of quality? 30? Fair hair? Narrow moustache?
No.
I'd like to review your patient files, Doctor.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. Discretion is important to us here.
I have procedures at my disposal.
Feel free to pursue them. I suspect your superiors will agree with me. Perhaps you should check the charity wards. The disease is much more common among the lower classes.
Well, you seem to be doing all right.
Yes. Will that be all?
Yes.
I'm glad to have been of help.
Thank you.
That's far enough.
Made a court. I ain't got a way up here.
I prefer to walk the rest of the way, thank you.
Anything?
She worked a shift and she came straight home. That's it.
I'll take over from here.
What about Peters?
I'll keep an eye on her tonight. Shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Good.
Good night, Inspector.
Get off! Get!
He's unreal!
Go! Stop it! Stop it! I'm a policeman! A police officer!
He ain't Jack the Ripper, he's a bleeding peeping Tom!
I'm a policeman, I'm telling you! Get back or I'll arrest a lot of you.
How do we know you're a copper?
He's a copper!
Go on, get back! Go on!
I'm watching you.
I'll bear that in mind, ma'am.
Is this your idea of police protection?
He couldn't protect you from a flea. Hit me twice, didn't he? I didn't even feel it.
You ain't so tough yourself. That tooth was loose already.
Come along, you two. I'll clean you up.
Well, I got a bit of business, so I'll see you tomorrow, all right?
Come on.
Thanks for this.
I don't think you need any stitches.
Good. I wouldn't want to give her the satisfaction.
Mind your collar.
It's a nice little place.
It's not much, is it?
Don't know. Wasn't what I came from. Shows care. Ambition.
Yeah, ambition to get the hell out of it.
You read a lot.
Some.
How'd you end up doing what you do?
Oh, God, here it comes. You don't talk like a whore. You don't look like a whore. You're so pretty. Let me help you.
How did you end up doing what you do?
You don't give up, do you?
No. Tell me.
Hold this.
Go on.
My mother died when I was a child. My father wasn't as bad as some. He worked in a woolen mill till he lost his arm in a picker. He took to drink. Bad. He gave me to service to a fine house. I was a scullery maid at first, till his lordship had me elevated to lady's maid. He saw to it that I had my own room. He came in the night. When the lady of the house found out, I found myself in a train to London.
There are other jobs here.
Domestic service without references? Factory work? I got here in the Panic of '85. At the 10 bells, I'd see the young men of quality slumming. They thought I was for sale. A few times, when it was raining and I was looking at a night under a cart or in a doorway, I said yes.
There are ways to improve yourself.
Go to hell.
You can improve yourself.
That's what I'm doing. But not here. I'm going to America.
America? Why?
It's not like England. Here only a few people matter and everybody else is dirt. In America, everybody's equal.
Well, maybe they're all dirt.
At least they're equal.
That doesn't suit me. In America, you won't be able to identify the Ripper.
I can't identify him from a grave either.
I won't let that happen.
You might not have a lot to say about it.
You and me, we're a lot alike.
Don't flatter yourself.
He went down there. Look what you've done.
You asked to see me, sir?
Have you seen the Post?
No, sir.
It discusses me in some detail. Read it, if you would. Well?
Sorry.
At the club, Sir William recited it aloud. All very amusing. I want this case solved, and I want it solved quickly. If you disappoint me, it will have a serious and permanent effect on my opinion of you.
Yes, sir.
So keep me apprised.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, Sir Charles. Your walking stick.
It's a club stick. Every member of the Benton Club has one. Kindly direct your curiosity to the matter at hand.
Yes, sir.
What time she show up?
Been there since around 7. Having a good old time, she is.
I'll take over from here, all right?
She's all yours.
Too little horn! Seek a cosy doorway! Just night flashes! I miss the Jack's idea of mine!
Slice up the doxy old whore!
You know, she said...
Florrie? Florrie, come on.
Go on with your story.
She was sitting...
Come on.
Who's that?
That's no one.
You don't want to be here, Florrie. Come on.
Piss off.
You heard her. Piss off.
Careful.
You stay out of it.
He's a copper.
Florrie.
Oh, sorry. Piss off, constable.
Stay out of it.
That
Come
must
on.
be Jack. Hey, that's him. I see him now.
Get out of here.
Hey, how about this one then? Isn't she a
Florrie,
sweetie?
come on.
Hey, sweet out. Then, darling. Hey.
Florrie! I'll make us some tea.
What do you want?
Some tea.
You know what I mean. What do you want from me?
I don't know.
Are you a missionary? Is that it? You want to save me? That makes you just like the Ripper. He hates whores. And so do you.
He's a madman.
He's no different from you or any other man. I know what you want.
Don't do that, Florrie.
I'll even give you a policeman's discount.
Stop it, Florrie. Stop it.
It's a good price.
Ah, Mrs. Lambert. No, I'll take it here, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
We can get in at 1:15. Cost me £1. We'll see if we can... Horser Park. I'll wait.
Good morning. I'm gonna go. But you stay here. It's safe.
How am I supposed to tag along on your coattails if you bugger up your whole career?
She's just a witness.
Who do you think you're talking to here?
She can't identify him if she's dead.
Show me some respect, will you?
Yeah, I know, it's insane. But I'll be careful. What's this?
French letters. You're an idiot.
I know. Look, meet me there at 1. See if you can get a list of the members of the Benton Street Club for me.
What for?
Just do it.
Miss Evelyn?
James! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect to see you until Sunday.
Evelyn, I won't be able to see you on Sunday.
Just Sunday?
I'm afraid you've misjudged me.
Have I?
Yes. And I'm sorry for misleading you.
Are you sure about this?
I wish I was.
Then why?
I don't know. I just feel compelled to do this. I'm sorry.
I see. Well then.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Here it is. Two lists. The, Benton Club. Girls' syphilis patients. Five names.
Any one of them could squash us like insects. Let's go. I'll get photographs of all 5. We can show them to our witness.
We only need one photograph. I know who it is.
That's him. Who is he?
You don't know?
No. By the looks of his picture, he's a person of quality.
No, he's just a murderer.
You may speak.
Your Highness, your name has come up in connection with an investigation of ours. I would like to ask you some questions.
In what context has my name arisen?
Could you tell me where you were the night before last?
I was listening to the opera, don't you remember?
The night after that.
I can give you a list of a dozen men who can vouch for my whereabouts. All of them peers of the realm. Lord Albemarle, Lord Hampton. Shall I go on?
No, that won't be necessary. But I'd like to have that list.
I'm not Jack the Ripper. He's a madman. But I understand his madness. These women he's killing are part of an invasion. They carry a disease that is just as much a threat to this country as the Armada was.
I understand you studied anatomy.
Yes. An avocation. A far cry from leading an army. Hear me. If you speak out against me in any way whatsoever, I will destroy you. All I'll need is one well-placed word to your superiors. And I mean your superiors. Have I made myself clear?
Yes. You've made yourself perfectly clear.
A reverse Clarendon is only really proper in town. Here's an ascot. Yeah. Much more appropriate for the country.
Thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome. You may go.
You expect me to request a search of the palace on the word of a prostitute?
Well, it's either that or we arrest him. But we're more likely to get an indictment if we have the physical evidence.
An indictment? Are you mad?
He is not above the law.
He is the law! Or one day he will be. You have no idea what you're suggesting.
Yes, I do, but we have no choice. Miss Lewis has identified him from his photograph without knowing who he is. She still doesn't.
Oh, thank God.
There are indications that the killer has syphilis. Prince Eddie has been infected for several years. He studied anatomy. He knew how to do the incisions. He carries a lion's head walking stick.
As I do.
Well, what about his inquiries into the case, sir?
Well, everyone in London has inquired about the case. If he hadn't asked me about it, that would be reason to suspect him.
Sir, the evidence is clear.
The evidence is not clear, so long as it rests upon the word of a whore. If I go to the Home Secretary, that is what he would say, and I would agree with him.
Prince Albert Victor is the Ripper. I am certain.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, what a situation. Who have you told about this?
No one. No one knows except you, Sergeant Bell, and myself.
And the prostitute, you have her in custody?
She's in a safe place.
Where?
My flat.
Oh, well, Hanson, we all revert to type, yes?
Yes, sir. We all do.
I am going to make sure that Prince Albert Victor finds out where she is. Once in Rajasthan, I hunted tiger. We staked out a live goat, and then we waited. Then, at night, as expected, the tiger came, and while it was eating, then we bagged it.
And what about the goat?
Well, the goat was the price of the tiger.
Well, sir, this is not a goat. This is a woman!
This is a prostitute. She places no value upon herself, so why should we?
She'll never agree to it.
Well, she is not to be told.
I won't do it, sir.
I beg your pardon?
He has killed 4 women. We have no right to use this woman as bait.
Oh, it's a pity your judgment doesn't equal your skill as an investigator. Or your ambition.
Well, I'll have none of it, sir.
Any accusation regarding Prince Albert Victor must be unassailable. If you're right, then I want him caught red-handed, and I mean that literally. Oh, we are going to do this, with you or without you.
Very well. I want 25 men. I want 2 teams following the prince starting right now. I want a 3rd for backup should he lose them. We wait until everything is in place, and I am absolutely certain no harm is going to come to her.
Fine.
The decision to tell him where she is mine, and mine alone.
Good. And I demand absolute discretion and the utmost...
Here's a good one. When a gentleman offers his seat to a lady, he should engage her in light conversation for a moment to allow the seat a chance to cool off.
It's not in there.
I swear it's right there. Listen to this one. When a lady passes wind or makes another unpleasant bodily noise at a social gathering, the gentleman closest to her should apologize, taking the blame for her unpleasantness.
You're making that up.
It's right there.
Give me a look.
Read it.
I'll be damned, it's something I would never do.
Oh, like hell. You'd do it in a second.
No, I wouldn't. Not if it stunk, you know?
Sir? What'd you tell her?
Nothing.
I'll tell you, it's enough to make one give up public service, this Ripper business. The press continually snapping at my heels. Most disagreeable. Our only witness is a prostitute.
I hope you have her under lock and key.
My man Hanson has turned his flat on Euclid Street into a holding pen. Oh, yeah. Yes. Were it anyone else, I might wonder, too.
Get back to your post!
Who are you?
Do you think he's toying with us?
I don't know.
I'm quite all right. There's a man outside. He claims to be a policeman. He assaulted me. He's dangerous. He should be killed. Oh!
I'm Inspector Hanson from the Metropolitan Police. I need to enter the house. Like hell you will. Let me show you some identification. All right, careful.
I'm going in there.
Hand-to-hand combat at Agincourt, King Henry V ripped out the throat of a French officer with his teeth. I venture that gave the French pause whenever they considered invading us. Henry, of course, had an army.
Sir, I must ask you to come with me.
There was a time when the fate of the nation depended on us. On my family. The Vikings, the Armada, Prince Charlie. We fought off the invaders.
Your Highness, please, come with me.
Had we fought together then, I would have valued your service. I might have laid my sword on your shoulder, knighting you, embracing you.
Come with me.
How dare you!
Catch! Give up! It is over! It is over! Your Highness, it is over!
No idea what it's like. I wash and I wash, but I'm never clean. I dress as usual, but inside I'm filthy. I do battle, but I can't defeat it.
I'm so very sorry.
Thank you.
You must end all this and come with me now.
Yes.
Hold your fire!
Thank you, Captain. You won't be needed. You may go.
Sir.
What will happen to him, sir?
He'll be put somewhere he can do no harm to himself. Or to others.
Same sort of place you're going to have to put me?
Step up, sir.
I know I can count on your complete discretion, but I have here something from the government to show their appreciation of your work.
It won't be necessary, sir.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm offering it. You're one of us. Take it. Please. Good night, Hanson.
Walk on.
Here.
Sorry.
You made use of me.
I had no choice.
I tell you, I had no choice. You always have a choice.
Move it, you lot. The store officer's got a job to do now. Get this lot cleaned up.
This is for you.
Appointment this in the morning. Get out of here.
I don't want your master's money.
It's not their money. It's my money.
What's your hash money? You want me to be a whore?
You're not a whore.
I know.
There's enough here to take you to America.
I'm sure it is. You're one of them after all.
Let me walk you home.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry.
So am I. Goodbye, Inspector.
Your stick, sir. Careful.
Your Highness?
All aboard! All ashore that's going ashore!
What are you doing here?
I'm taking this to Southampton. I understand there's a ship sails to New York tomorrow night.
You can do as you like.
Yeah?
If you'll excuse me, Inspector.
Florrie, what can I do?
Well, besides get off this boat.
I already said I was sorry.
You once said you and I were alike. Well, you were wrong. You're not good enough for me.
I could improve.
You belong here.
No. Not anymore. I am leaving.
We'll see how you do.
I'm a hard worker.
I know.
I can wait.
You'll have to.
So that was The Ripper, and I've got to say that I was genuinely impressed with the production value for what is essentially a low-budget TV movie. With films like this, you never know if they will devolve into some trashy slasher flick with zero connection to the real story. But thankfully, this one managed to rise above those expectations. For those of you who've seen your fair share of Jack the Ripper documentaries like I have, you'll know that the Prince Albert Victor theory is one of the more sensational and widely discredited takes on the case. This film dives headfirst into that conspiracy, weaving it into a tale of royal intrigue. It was a bold choice, but did it stick the landing? Well, I'm honestly torn. First off, I can't fault the movie for its atmosphere. Victorian London came alive as this impoverished, smoggy and crime-ridden city. The cobblestone streets, the dim gaslights and ominous fog all created this sense of eeriness and immersion. You could literally feel the dread hanging in the air, and that was a huge win for a story this dark. Now, onto the performances, and Samuel West as the Prince was pretty chilling. He oozed privilege and menace in a way that made you question him in every scene. Gabrielle Anwar's performance added some much-needed humanity to the story, and she was the only character that I really cared about. Patrick Bergin also did a solid job as the inspector, but his wandering accent was a bit of a distraction. One moment he's in London, the next he's in Dublin. But what really stood out to me was how the film blended fact and fiction. The royal conspiracy made for good drama, but it overshadowed the raw horror and societal complexity of the real Ripper case. Instead of exploring the fear and class struggles that define that era, it leaned a little too heavily on the fictionalized thriller elements. Yet another case of style over substance, which has become customary for Hollywood movies. So, to sum it up, The Ripper was good historical fan fiction, reminiscent of bigger budget films like 2001's From Hell. While it was far from a definitive take on the story, its atmospheric setting and few standout performances elevated it above mediocrity. My final rating is 3.5 stars. Now, I want to hear from you. What did you think of the Ripper? Do you think it was an accurate retelling, or do you feel like it should have stuck closer to the facts? And while we're at it, what's your favourite Jack the Ripper theory? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching. This is Holy Critic, signing out.